start about the first chapter of NCERT book Economics Development. Before moving to the development, we will first understand what is the difference between growth and development. Growth, the increase of the real income, increase in the national income, but development is much more than the growth. Because when we are talking about development, it's considered into the life expectancy, the living standard of the country, the literacy rate, the per capita income of the country, and all the things are taken into consideration while we are talking about development. So development is the literacy rate, the expectancy life, the healthcare facilities are available within the country. And development is considered as the directional growth. Means there is growth is going on, but still all that growth must and should be considered as the development. There is an improvement of the healthcare facilities, there is a providing good quality of education, there is providing of good public distribution systems, and all those things are considered as development. So development is directional, or any directional growth we consider as development. Then it comes to the present is governed by the past. Means if the past is more developed, then it is the more chances that the region will be more prosper and developed. As we compare that, here is the world map. It is North America and Africa and India. In North America, where it is very much developed as compared to the Africa. So there is a greater chance in Northern America that this region will be more prosper than the Africa, because the past is glorified in Northern America as compared to the Africa. And the next point is, what is development for one may not be development for you. Suppose what is the development for me is not considered as the development for you. Take example. When we are talking about a landless labor, his development is that how he will get much more income, how he could get more salaries or daily wages. At the same time, as a prosperous farmer in Punjab, he thinks that how he could minimize his salaries or wage. Means there is a contradiction between the prosperous farmer of Punjab and the daily wage or the landless labor. Landless labor wants more wages, and the prosperous farmer wants that how could he give the less wage and the profit margin he could increase. There is another example in industrialist who produce electricity. He wants large size of dams, but at the same time, the tribal peoples who are migrated from that particular area where the dam will be constructed, or they are going to displace from that, they are at the same time they are not considered as development. So development for one person may not be development for other, and sometimes it may be destroying or conflict. Here are the different categories of people and how their developmental goal is different. Because every person cannot have the same developmental goal. Different persons have different developmental goal. Here some of the examples are there. For a landless labor, what's the developmental goal? He wants more wages. The way he works daily, he needs more wages for his work, more days of work. In a year, he wants more days of work as far as possible, and as the highest, what the developmental goal of a landless labor is getting a permanent employment. If he could get a permanent employment anywhere, that is the highest developmental achievement of the landless labor. At the same time, a prosperous farmer whose land size is very much bigger, his developmental goal how to get higher and higher income, and how to improve in the techniques of the production, how he will get more techniques in the cultivation, how he get the HYV seeds, more modern equipments he could use in the cultivation, and how he could get maximum support price from the government. That is the developmental goal of a prosperous farmer. At the same time, who is urban unemployment, thought about for a time urban unemployment, urban literate person who is unemployment, his developmental goal how to get a employment. That is the highest development goal. And for Adivasi, tribal Adivasi, the developmental goal is to how to get the education, rising socio-economic status. In the Adivasi wants as far as respect in the society as others are getting, and want to rise the socio-economic status in the society and equality. There should not be discrimination as they are Adivasis, the tribals. They should also get the equal amount of respect, equal amount of all the things the others are getting in the society. And land ownership. Most of the Adivasis are landless laborers. That is why they want a land what is their ownership. And the girl in a society, in a rich or poor society, he wants more freedom as the brother is getting, as her brother is getting that the freedom. The girl also want equal opportunity. There should not be any gender discrimination. As she is a girl, there should not be any discrimination. And equal education priority. The most of the things in Indian system we think that girls are just as the liabilities. That is why we are not going to spend much of the money for their development of education. But a girl wants that she should also get equal amount of opportunity that a boy gets. So in previous diagram we have saw that the developmental goal is how to get a permanent employment, how to get more income, how to get more improvement in the technology, so apart from the income level, there are the other things which determines the development. So we could say that development is a mixed goal. Means here the material things like more income, more development in the technologies, other things also determines the development. These are freedom. Freedom in the society is also determines if more freedom is available there, he feels more developed. And equal treatment, one is expect from the society there should be equal treatment to him or her. And the next thing is social security. Social security is one of the most important things which also consider one of the important things of development. And the respect of others means everyone wants respect in the society and safe environment, if pollution free environment, safe environment where he could get the free oxygen, which is also considered as the development. So here both materialistic things like income and the income and also non-material things like respect, freedom and safe environment, all the things are considered as one of the important goals of development. So now we will talk about the national development. In the previous we have discussed about the individual development and how individual is different from person to person. In the same way, national development is different from one nation to another nation. First of all, when we talk about the national development, the first and the foremost important thing is that a nation has to develop the ability of a nation to improve the lives of its citizens. Means how a citizen can get the maximum benefit from the nation. It is the utmost duty of the nation to satisfy all the wants and the needs of a person. Measure of improvement can be increase the GDP and social status. One of the important indicator of a country, whether the country is developed or not, if we want to know, that is the important indicator is GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. We may say that all the final GDP means the gross domestic product is the total monetary and the market value. Means the total monetary and market value of the finished product within a period of time or within the country. That is the GDP, and GDP is the important indicator whether the country is developed or not. The income growth means the country have to improve the income of the growth, means individuals income should be growth, means the per capita income should one of the important things whether the country is developed or not. And poverty elevation. Country like India where there is a large number of poverty is there. So how the government will elevate all the poverty lines, that is also one of the foremost important things. And the last, satisfy the social and economic needs. Means the nation should satisfy all the important aspects, needs of the countrymen. That is why the individuals or the nation should take care whether that whether the individuals are getting their socio-economic needs or the country is fulfilling or not. When we comparing the different income of different nations, we cannot consider into account the total income. Instead of total income, we should take the per capita income because the population of different countries is very much different. Okay, so what is per capita income? Per capita income means the average income of a country. We could get by the per capita income is equal to real GDP by population, means the total GDP of the country and by the number of population, then we get the per capita income. So here is a report by World Development Report 2019. In that report, there are 4 categories of nations are there. First is lower income group of nations where they reach US dollar of 1026, below than 1026 they are come under the lower income group, and 1026 US dollar to 3995 they are comes under the lower middle income group, and upper middle income group means those per capita income is 3996 to 12,375 US dollar, they are comes under the lower middle income group, and higher income group means those per capita income is more than 12,375 US dollar, means the countries like Great Britain, USA, they are comes under the higher income group or they are called as the developed nation. When we are talking about India's per capita income is 2010 US dollar, and so India comes under the lower middle income group. India is considered as the lower middle income group. It not merely the total income or the per capita income, other things which also determines whether a country is developed or not. Look at here. These are some of the important things which determines the development of a country. First is infant mortality rate. What we can say, infant mortality means the number of children that die before the age of 1 year, age proportion of 1000 live birth born in the particular year. In a particular year, the number of newborn baby die before the age of 1 year. That indicates the infant mortality rate. As a comparison, the infant mortality rate of India is 30, whereas the infant mortality rate of Japan is 1.8 only. And if we compare the infant mortality rate of Japan and USA, the infant mortality rate of USA is 5.8. In terms of per capita income, maybe USA is developed, but if we consider in terms of infant mortality rate, Japan is more developed than the USA. Second thing is literacy rate, means measure the proportion of literate population in the age of 7 and above age group, means who is the age is 7 and more, whether he is literate or not. How much percentage of population is literate, that also important consideration to account while determining whether the country is developed or not. Then the net attendance ratio is the total number of children of age group 14 and 15 years attending school as per the percentage of total number of children in the same age group. Means net attendance ratio means that mean age of schooling. If more number of people are going to school, that indicates that country is more developed. And the last is the public facilities. It's not about only monies. Countries like India, where more poor persons are there should be public facilities should be there. Then only we could say that the country is developed. The last thing is pollution-free environment and unadulterated medicine. If the environment is more pollution-free, that country is more developed, and unadulterated medicines, healthcare facilities should be available there. Then only that country is more developed. Here is a comparison between different states of India, Haryana, Kerala and Odisha. The per capita income of Haryana is 2,64,207, whereas the per capita income of Kerala is 2,04,105. So if we compare in terms of per capita income, then Haryana is more developed than Kerala. But when we consider all the other things like infant mortality rate, literacy rate and net attendance ratio, then the infant mortality rate is much higher than Kerala, that is 33 as compared to 10. The literacy rate is also the Kerala have highest in the country, and net attendant ratio of Kerala is also highest among the all states. So in terms of per capita income, if we consider growth, then definitely Haryana have more income. But in terms of other things, Kerala is more developed. That is why Kerala is more developed state than Haryana, we would say that. Here we will discuss about Human Development Index, which is propounded by the Pakistani economist Mehboob ul Haq and the Indian economist Amartya Sen. Here we take into consideration the different things like life expectancy, education and per capita income. According to that, three things are determined the Human Development Index. First is long and healthy life or the life expectancy, knowledge ratio, mean years of schooling and expected years of schooling. The third thing is decent standard of living like gross national income, per capita income, purchasing power priority according to the US dollar. And life expectancy index, education index and gross national income index, all the three things determine the Human Development Index. The formula of Human Development Index is the geometric mean of life expectancy, education and income index. Here, the Qth root over of life expectancy index, education index and income index is the formula for Human Development Index. Here is the data of the different South Asian countries. Here it is clear that from the data is from the South Asian countries, Sri Lanka is the most developed country where comes under the 71 rank. After that Sri Lanka, India comes under 129 in the rank. The last part is the sustainable development. Sustainable development means is that development which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability future generations needs. Means the way we will use these resources in the manner that can be fulfill our needs, but at the same time it also be further we preserve for the next generation. In that way we could use the methods. We have one thing we have to keep in mind that we have inherited the world not from our forefather, we have borrowed it from our children. So in such that way we could use it for the generation that our further generation which will come, our children, they could also utilize the resources as much as we are utilizing. So take is the groundwater. Groundwater is a renewable resources and replenished by the nature. But at the same time, if we continuously waste the groundwater, then there is a scarcity of groundwater after some time. And its non-renewable resources, they are fixed in stock, cannot be replaced by the nature like coal, petroleum and other products. That is the completion of the first chapter of development. Thank you.